Have you been hesitant to launch your coaching offer because you're not sure what you should price your product at? If this is a struggle that you've been dealing with, you are not alone. And in this episode, I am going to help you solve this confusion once and for all. Pricing is a very conflicting topic in business, especially in the coaching industry. And the reason why is because you have so many experts who believe in different strategies when it comes to pricing. You have some that will tell you that you should charge what you're worth, meaning you look at how much you feel like you deserve to make and you allow your prices to align with that. Then you have other experts who believe that you should price according to your dream life. So for example, if you desire to drive a Mercedes-Benz and live in a $500,000 home, then your prices should be able to fund that life that you're aiming to achieve. And then you have this other category of experts who believe that you should charge based on the value of your offer. So if the value of your offer is only getting somebody, say, a $50 return, they don't believe that you should charge $3,000 for that offer because your prices is not aligned to the value that the customer is going to get from you in return. And with all of these different opinions, it's so easy to start thinking like, well, what am I supposed to do? What's the right way for me to price my offers? And in my opinion, I feel like all three of these pricing strategies are right and they're wrong. What do I mean by that? All three of these strategies are right when you put them together and you use them cohesively to price your offer. But they're wrong when you try to use them as your one and only strategy of how you should get your offer out there. And so what I want to do, I want to talk about each strategy one by one and show you how using the strategy by itself can be a negative thing for your business. So pricing strategy number one is to price your products based off of what you think that you are worth. I think that is very difficult to measure how you should price your products based off of your worth because your worth is infinite. Technically, you could be worth $2 million. You could be worth $20 million. And so the problem with this is two things. Number one, it may cause a situation where you are overcharging for your product, meaning that your product, let's say, could only be worth $100, but because you feel like you are worth more than that, and because you feel like you are too good to only make $100 and you're supposed to be making more, you charge $3,000 for that offer. And what this is going to result in is you having unsatisfied customers. You're going to have customers who feel like you're a scammer. You're going to have customers who's complaining that this was not worth the price, right? And it's going to make it really difficult for you to continue getting clients and for people to want to buy from you again. Another issue with this is that once you start seeing the response that you're getting from your clients when it comes to your offer, it can cause insecurities inside you, where maybe you started off feeling like you had this infinite amount of worth. You felt like you were worth $3,000, but now you're starting to doubt yourself. Now you feel like you don't have what it takes. And now you feel afraid to charge higher prices because you are traumatized by the experience and the response that you got once you launched this product. But the whole time, what you're failing to realize is that the problem is not that you are not worth it. The problem is that you are prioritizing what you feel like you are worth and what you feel like you are deserving to make over your clients' needs and their results. And that's why pricing solely off of what you feel like you are worth is not the way to go when you are creating an offer. Now, there is a way to include this in your strategy, and we're going to talk about that later. But right now, let's move on to strategy number 2 and explain why that by itself is not a good pricing strategy to use. So the second strategy that people use to price their offers is basing their prices off of the life that they desire to live. If you listen to me often, then you know that this is one of my favorite pricing strategies to use. However, I don't want you to make the mistake of thinking that you should solely use this pricing strategy alone. Because when you do, what you're doing is you're setting up a business that's only focused on your needs instead of your clients' needs. So, for example, let's say that you have a dream of purchasing your dream car, and your dream car is a $300,000 Lamborghini. So, you come up with this plan where you're like, okay, I'm going to launch a $30,000 coaching program. I'm going to sell this program to 10 people, and then that will give me enough money to purchase my dream car. Now that's good and all, but the problem is when you use this strategy alone, your only focus is getting the car. You're not focused on making sure that this $30,000 program is worth $30,000. You're not focused on the return that your client is going to get when they invest $30,000 into you and trust you with that type of money. And so what happens is you might be able to get 10 clients. You might be able to purchase your dream car, but you're going to run into the same thing that pricing strategy number 1 is going to give you. You're going to run into very unhappy and unsatisfied customers, the type of customers who complain about you, the type of customers who share publicly their negative experience with your company. And that's going to make it where people do not trust you. People think that you are a scammer, and people do not want to give you their income. So it's like you got your dream car, but at what cost? Because your business is no longer sustainable. You need money to fund that car. You need money to maintain that car. You need money to gas that car. But because of your client's negative experience with you, it's going to be hard for you to find other clients who's going to want to give you money. So it's going to be hard for you to maintain the car that you just purchased. And this is why, although I love this strategy, I really want to help you understand that this strategy alone cannot be the way that you price your products. And before I tell you how to use this strategy more effectively, let's talk about the negative side of using strategy number 3 by itself. So strategy number 3 is the complete opposite of everything we've talked about thus far. This strategy is pricing your products based on the value that your client is getting. On paper, this sounds like the best pricing strategy option. But there is a downside to it. The downside is sometimes when you're building out a product and then you fully build it out and then you look at what is your client going to get in return and price based off that, you may wind up charging way less than what you intended because you realize that your framework and what you put together was not as valuable as you could have made it, right? So you might have a product where once you look at the return on investment and once you look at the value that the client gets, you realize that you can only charge $20 for this, or you can only charge $100 for this. And you may have goals. You may have goals of quitting your job. You may have goals of getting that Lamborghini we talked about, or buying a $500,000 home. But because you are pricing your products based on what the value you came up with is worth, you are going to have to get a ton of clients to get to your dream life. So let's make this more real. Let's go back to the example of you wanting to buy a $300,000 Lamborghini. And I'm laughing because for some of you, you're going to be like, that is not my dream. But this is just an example, okay? Now, with the $30,000 coaching program, you only needed 10 clients in order to make that dream possible. But with you having, let's say, a $20 offer, you need 15,000 clients to make that dream possible. With a $100 offer, you need 3,000 clients in order to make that dream possible. So when you observe a lot of people who use this pricing strategy, what you'll realize is that they have a business that they are working and they are still struggling. They desire to quit their job. They desire to have time freedom, but they don't have that because they're working 2 jobs. Because their business is not giving them enough income to quit their job, they are working throughout the day and then coming home and having to work their business like a second job. Pricing solely based off of the value that you are giving to your client is setting you up for a business of struggle. And we don't want to do that. So by now, you may be questioning like, well, if all of these strategies are not good, then what exactly is the solution? And like I said, in my opinion, I feel like the solution is to combine all 3 strategies. So the way that you're going to do this is you are going to start with the price, Before you even come up with your offer, before you come up with the framework that's going to be used in your offer, before you come up with the target audience and all that, good fun stuff, you are going to ask yourself, what price point do I want to create an offer at? This is going to help you with strategy number 1 and strategy number 2. So if you have goals of, let's say, quitting your job, if you have goals of getting a new car, starting with a price is going to help you still achieve the desires that you are creating your business in order to get. Next, you want to ask yourself, why are you choosing this price point? This will help ensure that you are actually achieving a goal and you are actually meeting your financial needs. Then after that, you want to ask yourself, how many sales do I need to get in order to hit this goal? So if I'm charging $2,000 and my goal is to make $10,000 a month, and that's the reason why I want to start with a $2,000 offer, how many clients do I need to get in order to hit this number? The answer is 5. I would need 5 clients per month in order to achieve my goal. Now, do not stop there. The next part is the most important and crucial piece. You need to start crafting an offer that is valuable at that price point. So what you want to do is you want to start thinking about your skill set. You want to start thinking about what you know, what you've overcame, what you see yourself helping people with. Then you want to start looking for a target audience. You want to start doing research on them, observing them, listen to the things that comes out of their mouth, listen to the things that they complain about, observe the things that they are searching on Google and searching on YouTube. What are they seeking help over? Then you want to ask yourself, how can I help them solve this problem and bring them a return of investment so great that they would be willing to pay me this price point to help them fix this? And if you feel scared doing this, because let's say that you have a number that scares you. Let's say that you are a generous coach, right? And you want to create an offer that's $2,000 and that terrifies you. Let's say that you are a comfortable coach and you want to create an offer at $40,000 and that terrifies you. Do not let fear overtake you. What you want to do is you want to observe your audience, start building out an offer based off of what you are observing their needs are. And then if you feel scared, instead of giving into that fear, you can start talking to your potential client. Don't sell them, but just present what you are trying to do. I'm trying to create a coaching program helping people with this at this price point. Would you pay that to get that solved? And see what they say. Most of them, if you are targeting higher end clients, like high class clients and not people who want everything for free, but most of them will tell you, heck yeah, I will pay somebody this price to help me resolve this issue. That right there is getting confirmation that your product is valuable before you even start to create it. This strategy helps you create an offer and price your products at a point where you feel valued, where you can live the life that you want to live and have the time freedom that you want to have, while also ensuring that your client is getting served and that value is being given to them. You know what else this helps you do? It helps you to challenge yourself. Because when we do strategy number 3 by itself and we create an offer and then price our product based off of what we feel like the value is, we don't really challenge ourselves to think deeper. We don't really challenge ourselves to make our, framework more intentional. We kind of just put something together and then we realize, this really isn't the best. So I'm going to lowball myself and I'm going to charge like $20 or $75 for it. But when you start with the price, and you start with a price that scares you. You start with $2,000. You start with $15,000. You start with $40,000. It really challenges you to be intentional while you are building and create something that's not just fluff. Create something that's not just thrown together, but create the perfect product for your client. And that's why I love this strategy. I want you to understand that when it comes to pricing your products, you need balance. Going solely off of what you put together and what the return on investment is not a good strategy. And going solely off of your needs and what you feel like you want to make is not a good strategy either. But when you put both of these strategies together and you use them cohesively, you are going to craft the best product at the best price for your client. And so I hope that you start taking steps to do that today. But that is all that I have for you today. Before we go, I do have an action step that I want to give you. So sometime this week, I want you to choose one offer or service and set a target price first. Before you craft out that offer, before you build the framework, before you do anything, set the price of how much you are going to charge. Then I want you to list 3 ways that you can increase the value of that offer so that it matches your price point. But if you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you leave a comment and let me know how this has helped you. And I will see you guys next week in the next episode.